close up Twitter. Technical difficulties. Okay. Come on, YouTube. Don't fail me now. I don't know what's going on. You can't see anything?
No, and I'm refreshing. What did I just put?
Let me disconnect and reconnect the stream.
Oh, there it goes.
Oh!
I just got a notification from YouTube.
Yeah. Oh, yes, now it's live. Oh, thank God. Okay, I just needed to restart. I can see it. All right, Morgan, I gotta hang up, otherwise I'm gonna implode.
Bye.
I love you. I'll see you in the chat.
Love you, bye.
Everyone, if you are here, thank you for your patience. Hi, Mel. Hi, Morgan. Hi, Trace. I hope you're there. And Trace, I would adore y'all forever. I don't say y'all. I meant everybody. Subscribe. I just got someone I may or may not be married to subscribe to my channel. I'm so excited. Sorry about that technical difficulties. My the platform that I use to do the double windows here, OBS, decided to never quit. Like, not in a good way though. So, been a busy day here and sad, devastating news in Buffalo right now. My heart's going out to my hometown. I met my husband working at a Tops, and so that hit very close to home, and yeah. I'm ready to talk honestly about tarot because, as a lot of you already know, tarot is a huge way lately that I'm coping with anxiety and the stuff that's getting churned up from my PTSD therapy that I'm in. And I'm very grateful that I'm in PTSD therapy. So, yeah, the chat's open. I think you have to be subscribed to YouTube or this whatever particular YouTube channel, but there's a delay from when I'm recording to what happens on live on YouTube. So it's like not live, it's like probably a 7 to 10 second delay. So forgive that awkwardness. But in the meantime, the first portion of this video tonight, Saturday, May 14th. All right, that means it's almost summer, which means it's pretty much Halloween. Anyway, I want to review Jim Henson's Labyrinth Tarot. Give a look at it fresh. I haven't looked at it in a couple of weeks. Look at it fresh. Give it a fresh in the moment review for you guys and for myself out loud. And I was reminded that I haven't done a deck review for Jim Henson's Labyrinth Tarot yet. When I saw my homies at Nerdist posting a year ago's announcement that, oh my God, you guys have to see this Nerdist or this Labyrinth Tarot deck. And I'm like, I've totally reviewed the deck. I should just, and I've written one article for Nerdist, so that's my 15 minutes of fame, and I'm honored. And oddly enough, that article is on grief and Lord of the Rings fandom, and how that helped me get through a lot of grief stuff. So I wanted to quickly link a review for this. I don't have a review for this one yet, and there's I have a stack next to me of all the ones I don't have reviews for yet. So these are coming up. I don't know if they're going to be tonight, and this was my newest find, you guys. Please crap your pants with me, because this is a Chinese Lord of the Rings tarot based on all 3 movies, photo stills. You may crap your pants. I did. But again, I'll get to those. There's a bunch of reviews I haven't done. These aren't going to be all reviews, but wait, what am I saying? Tonight isn't going to be just the Labyrinth Tarot review. If anybody wants a card read, or a few, let me know. I will absolutely be reading cards for anybody willing to have a card read live here on YouTube. And let's start with the review. And I can always chop out the review part in post-production, because my producer, my video editor, she's fantastic. My tea tonight is in a cup that we got from our wedding from Pottery Barn. And I have lemonade lavender tea, and I changed my mind as soon as it was starting to brew, and I took it out and I put in my Earl Grey because I needed a little pick me up. I didn't want to be yawning through this, so. And yes, for those new people watching here, I do drag out because I forget what I'm supposed to be doing, so. Excuse me. I was sanding all day, and I have dust everywhere. I think I really do have to do a, oh, thanks, Morgan. I really have to do a thing. Add moderator. Morgan is a moderator. Who else wants to be a moderator? Melissa, girls, ladies, you can put this on your resume. Moderator for the Dork Witch. Okay. Review. Begin. Tea. I gotta start at the very beginning. It's a very good place to start. All right. So the first thing I adore about this deck is it's immediately recognizable. I know that this is Jareth, the Goblin King, and I know that this is Sarah. And the owl that is his sort of animagus, if you will. I adore that it's licensed Jim Henson's Labyrinth. That is his baby. I'm already excited that there is a guidebook. I am trash for the writers. Yay! Congratulations, Morgan. I'm trash for writers of tarot decks. And now I have to figure out how. Oh, when somebody, for any people I make a moderator, if either of you will see like some random comment, like your emojis just now needed to get approved because I have a very high filter on right now. So you get to approve, like, and if spam, God forbid, slips in, you'll see how to, whatever. Just so I don't have to do it. I'm lazy. Okay. If you can see this glare on the back, I'm a big fan that not the whole box isn't glossy. I like that it's this raised embossed thing. It's already like a thick but cozy squishy box. Like, I know this is going to be a good box. David Bowie would not have wanted anything else for his tarot deck. Words by Minerva Siegel. She is the author of the upcoming Stranger Things tarot, which I have pre-ordered. And also the one I'm considering, I'm very close to getting. I know I'm going to end up getting it, but the Disney Villains tarot. That's my favorite part of Disney, so I kind of have to. I don't love Disney stuff. Like Snow White just made me really depressed. I don't know why. It was like one of the first things I saw in a theater as a kid. So Disney Villains is up. This amazing illustrator, Thomas Iho. And I remember reviewing something about this, or just unboxing. I think it was an unboxing thing, because I got this as a gift from my sister, Morgan. Huzzah. Thomas Iho is this incredible artist. He also has a Del Toro. There's a Del Toro tarot. His illustrations as well. This illustrator's illustrations based on the concepts of Del Toro, the filmmaker. Like, it's incredible. So let's talk about the box construction. It's very good. I'm very grateful it's got the grippers here, the little cutouts for my thumb, because it's a tight fit. And again, Melissa, remember when the cat tarot exploded? It's these boxes that trained me to be very careful with it. It's a really tight fit. It's a nice maroon interior. That's a good, yeah. This is what I mean by, like, when I want the boxes. That Friends tin that I made out of the Fossil Watch thing, it's not going to cut it. This is what I'm looking for in cardboard. This, like, it's almost like particle board. There's not much give to it. This box is going to hold up for a long time. If I don't have anything to do with it. I love my heart. It was 78 card pickup. That's what you said the minute I spilled it. I'm like, whoops. You're like, oh, 78 card pickup. Oh, God. But that's why it's like that for me. The guidebook is exactly this right size I want a guidebook like this to be. It fits in the box. Like, it's not like Kawaii Tarot. You guys remember the struggle I had with that? How huge the box was? Lord of the Rings gets a pass on the relative size of box to the deck because the guidebook is a relative 3/4 size, and then it's Lord of the Rings merch. So merch gets a pass. Lord of the Rings merch gets a pass. Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings merch gets a pass. Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings merch, that's a tarot deck, gets a pass. That's a tarot deck in Chinese, gets a pass. Okay. First thing I instantly love about it, what do you know? It's a ribbon. This helps me and my clumsy hands pick up the deck instead of like having to tip it over, flip it out, whatever. How adorable are these stripes? If you know the movie Labyrinth, you know why this is so freaking cute. If you don't, I'm going to tell you. And even if you do, I'm going to tell you anyway. Toby, the little baby, her little half-brother, I believe. Yes, her half-brother is a baby in this. And he gets taken by the Goblin King because Sarah's being a brat, and she challenges him because the baby's being annoying. He's wearing this onesie that's it's just red and white striped onesie, and I just hats off to the design team on this because that is just a really great subtle detail. The design team has seen this movie and they know this movie. So why am I freaking out about something that has nothing to do with the tarot deck? Because this has everything to do with this tarot deck. I work in the entertainment field. I work adjacent to the film and television industry folks, and I've worked in the film and television industry previously. I know what goes into a movie. I know what goes into TV. And it's like a former supervisor of mine whose initials are MCS always says garbage in, garbage out. Like if you have quality people working on stuff, it's going to be, or if you have crappy people working on stuff, it's going to be crap coming out. But if you have quality people who know what they're doing, who appreciate what the output is going to be, who are attentive to what's happening in the moment, that's going to make Erica really excited when she's looking at this tarot deck. So this I overthink a lot, and that can be a downer. That could be a drawback sometimes. But in times like this, it's giving me the benefit of the doubt on this deck. Even if I've never seen these cards before, because this could have been that purple color. They did not have to do that. And knowing, and I'm getting chills right now talking about this, so this tells me that I'm correct. No, yes, you know who MCS is. Knowing that whoever made this choice, the fact that they got it through to the design process, that tells me that's a tiny, insignificant, non-functional detail that has a ton to do. That rising tide lifts all boats. I guess that's what I'm trying to skirt around here. If this is the quality that they put into just the lining of the box, the least interesting part of the whole thing, they know what they're doing. And even if they don't, I'm at least going to assume they are for the rest of eternity, because that's how I read into things. That's why I choose paints based on their names, not how it looks in the daylight and if it dries 4 shades later or whatever. I don't care. I'm not going to get salmon, but I sure as heck am going to get strawberry smoothie. They're the same color. I'm fine. I'm not even upset. I'm excited. So anyway, love the box. That's an 18-hour rave about the interior of this box. You remind me of the babe. What babe? All right, let's look at the back of the cards. The first thing I can tell, which it's good and it's bad. I can tell which end is up, or I can tell 2 ends. It's not perfectly symmetrical, so I could still read these reversed, and that's fine. But eventually, once I remember which side is up, and I can't remember if it's the red that points up or whatever. Okay, page of junk. Okay, so now the red is pointing to the top of the card. That's going to be a cheat for me. Trace is here. Hello. Hi, Trace. You are so welcome here, my friend. And I am not at all jealous that you are working with MCS and my sister. So, not at all jealous. No. Well, definitely not jealous of you working with my sister. Heyo. I love you, Morgan. Hi! Trace, you said hi! I didn't even see that. Oh, Morgan. Thank God. Trace, thank you so much for subscribing, and I absolutely will be offering a couple of card readings in a little bit, so please determine if you'd be interested, because I would adore the chance to read for anybody who wants one, including my moderators. So anyway, I now have confirmed like that there's sort of a cheat here, because the deck, oddly, the deck does have, or does it? Yeah, it does have reverse meaning. So it has the upright and the reverse, which I find really helpful, especially as, oh my God, happy birthday, Trace! Ah, what do I have for you? Here. Happy birthday to Trace. 40th, I just turned 41 7 months ago. Here's a cupcake. Oh my God, here we go. There's a cupcake for you, and I got you this card. It says, welcome to the club, girl. Your golden years are just beginning. Get it? Because it's the Golden Girls. And it says, welcome. We're all 1 year closer to enjoying Shady Pines, not graduating. Graduating from Shady Pines? Yeah. Can't wait to celebrate in person. Love you, Morgan. I mean, Erica. And all the others in the Cross House. So, Trace, this is my birthday card. I'm sharing it with you. Because Morgan gave it to me on my 40th birthday. So now that that's done. All right, back to business. I'm focusing. Okay. So that's the first thing that baffles me, is the fact that they went to the trouble, the author, the writer, Minerva, she went to the trouble of making both the upright and reversed meanings in here, the little descriptions here, upright and reversed. But you can tell this. It just feels like a cheat, because my hunch is, I don't want to read in reverse. Reverse is negative. Turns out that's not true. There are some cards in here that are like dark cards, and one of my buddies on Twitter recently got the Tower reversed, and she's like, I was so terrified I didn't want to look at it. And I'm like, hold on. And so I looked at my little cheat sheet of it, like my generic cheat sheet, and it's not a bad meaning. So the reversed isn't always negative. It's because there's just so many different layers to everything. So I'm just confused what the reasoning is behind the choice to, being able to tell like which way it is. However, lucky for my queerance that I have a really poor short-term memory. So essentially I'll eventually forget. Well, that's actually really cute. I'm going to put that there. That straw is like poking it. This is not real. It's fake. And I got it at my local antique shop, and I love it. Because I can't have any of this food anymore. Because allergies and getting old is so good. Hey, Andy from Twitter! Welcome, welcome! Oh, I'm so happy you're here. Thank you for coming. Oh, Trace is having a birthday party. Anyone else who's over 40, what did you do to celebrate your 40th? I was in a pandemic, so I had a small party for my 41st birthday, 6 months late because there was another wave of the pandemic. What'd you guys do? Talk amongst yourselves in the chat. So anyway, the cards shuffle nicely. I remember when I first got this deck, that's not a jumper, that's poor shuffling because I'm trying not to tip my tea over, which is right here. When I first got this deck, this is something else that you should be aware of if you're thinking about getting this this deck. The top of the card it's curved down like that. There's a tiniest little lip, and like it's like, picture a very flat bowl, right? Like that. It's hard to explain. There was definitely a lip on it, and I wanted to shave it off, and I didn't know how to do it. So like I was shuffling, like, after 20, 30 years of using these cards, they're going to smooth out, but I wanted something quicker. So I took I don't have any. I tiny nail file and I was watching TV. I was probably watching Labyrinth just to sort of infuse my experience with Labyrinth with the deck. It was probably Downton Abbey, if I'm being honest. And I just, it was a horrible noise, but I took a, oh geez. Trace on his 40th birthday, everyone. He is sitting in a hotel room 7 minutes from the beach and it's raining. Oh my God, Morgan, that was such a fun night. Yeah. I do love rain though. I'm a little jealous. That makes you feel better. So anyway, these cards had an inner, it was printer press, like the chunk, like when you stamp something and like I'm picturing a notary stamp, like it gets embossed. It's almost like these are all embossed the wrong way, like not the wrong way, but they all just, it was hard to shuffle them for a while because they would stick together. You can even see still, they're still chunking together. Like I've shuffled these, but like the more I use them, the better they'll get. And some are getting a little rough around the edges, which is what I want. I am not gentle with my decks. I am very, yes, you're alive. Everything. So you want to know everything about this deck for your daughters and yourself? I'm on it, Andrea. Or Andy, if you prefer. Okay, cool. So it's just a little chunky, like even still, you can see most decks will spread a little better than that, but this is still pretty new. I've done readings for, what's the word, for clients before, paying clients, and it still works out great. Now, the Major and Minor Arcana. This is my significator card. This is the card that I feel most connected to and striving to be like and all that. And this is mine. This is Toby, her bear. No, Lancelot. Excuse me. Toby's the babe with the power. This is Lancelot, her bear. He's the star, and the star card in the Major Arcana Tarot is my card. I love it. Does everybody here know what their significator card is? I think Mara, my friend from work, taught me that word. I think it was Mara. And I was really grateful to hear that because I pulled it for her one Twitter night. She's like, oh, wow, that's incredible. That's my significator. I'm like, that sounds fancy. What is that? Or I'm like, oh, that's great. What does that mean? And she explained it to me that it's that. And it turns out you can actually have it randomly keep coming up. And eventually you admit to yourself, like, okay, this is the card for that is like when a deck is trying to get my attention or whatever. But I guess there's also spreads you can do to find out what yours is, or you can just pick it. So I haven't done the just picking it thing. This one just kept coming up for me and I wanted it, so I chose it. So it's been a little bit of a blend, but I'm eventually going to do that. All right. Andy, I'm glad you asked about wanting to know everything about this deck because that's what I want to talk about here. There are 4 suits in the Minor Arcana, and there are the full Major Arcana as well. The art is freaking fantastic. I'm gonna use the box here to actually boost these up so I can show you, get a little closer to the camera. I could also move the camera down, but then that just like knocks everything out of whack. The Fireys, chilly down with the Fireys. Dun, 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 dun. Queen of Pentacles. Yes, Mel. It looks like it does. That's Lancelot. He's so cute. I think it's a really similar type of bear because those commercials came out in, I want to say the 90s, and this is like a late 80s movie. So I wonder if they stole Lancelot from Labyrinth. So this is a little weird for me. There's suits of feathers. It's not a problem. It's just I have a hard enough time with the original suits of the Minor Arcana. Poles, and let's try to guess the corresponding suits of, what is it? Cups, pentacles, wands, and swords. Feathers. Junk is another one. Junk is another suit. And then there's the world. Oh, look at that. I'm sorry, but just, again, this is like the stripe, the box stripe effect. The fact that they chose an inner look at a view from inside the castle looking out at the labyrinth as to represent the world for this deck. Whoever wrote this deck knows knows the movie. And I could recite that movie to you guys if you want. Ludo is my freaking favorite. It's fine. And the fourth suit is pots. So I'm going to put the major arcana here so you guys can still see the cards. But Mel, you have a guess as feathers are swords. I genuinely can't remember. So talk amongst yourselves. You guys duke this out. And then the guidebook does confirm what everything is. So there's, again, feathers, tower, pots. And I'm thinking about it like, there are no pots in the movie. There are pots all over the movie. There are poles all over the movie. Feathers? I mean, I'm sure there's feathers in the deck. I don't get it, though. I know what each of these objects has to do with the elements. Mel, we should totally watch it when you're here. Queen of Pots. And also what I'm doing, I've learned is a great way to get to know a deck. Sort it back, like shuffle, use it, and then whenever I need to reconnect with it, or to cleanse it, clear it. Oh, look at that. Are you kidding me? I don't understand the connection from the movie to this, like the hands parts as justice, but I'll take it. I love it. Pots are cups. That much I do remember. That makes sense to me because it's cups. That was my first guess when I saw it, and I believe that is correct. Yeah, there's pots all over because it's a very like pre-industrial kind of world, and guessing based on astrology. Yeah, poles. Like junk really throws me off. Except junk is power in their world. So is that pentacles? You would think I'd know this, but car accident in 2000 and another car accident in 2007 have damaged my short-term memory. So I have a hard time memorizing stuff. But anyway, let me go through this a little more quickly. Talk amongst yourselves. There's the moon. Oh. Okay, don't get distracted. Poles. Major. Feathers. I guess that's junk. I think junk is pentacles. Feathers is... What's air? What's the air suit? Oh, Morgan, you're right. Yeah. She said, down. Okay, down. I forgot I was live just now. I thought I was just like FaceTiming with Morgan. Yep, that's how it works. That's why we're the dork witch, not the cool witch. That's why her hair is so big. It's full of dark dorkiness. It's full of dork secrets. And poles, I remember those little like creepy, like, they looked like inflated or like blown up unfeathered baby birds on top of poles, and they ran around biting each other. Jim Henson was an amazingly weird guy. It's Hoggle. He's the Hierophant. I'm so pleased. Big fan of that one for temperance. The balance, the yes, the no, the mute, the hard of hearing. Your mom's buying a farmhouse? That's amazing. What? Say more things about that. This is actually really interesting. In this movie, in the deck, it's not the lovers, it's the dancers. This is the lovers card. And I think that speaks volumes because okay, great. Oh, hey, Tarot Destroyer, so is my mom. Bye! We're just gonna go ahead and block that B. Cool. The fact that there's not love in this deck, I love that, ironically, because the movie is about this power dynamic, that narcissistic relationship that they have, and also Sarah was underage. Jennifer Connelly was not an adult when they made that movie, and David Bowie was an adult, and then they had them like falling in love. Like, it was very bizarre. So, we've determined cups. I'm pretty good guess that junk is pentacles, because it's like the earthly goods. Okay, thanks, Morg. Oh yeah, you guys, I forgot. You moderators. Okay, cool. Yeah, and there's a bunch of different options. You can put someone in timeout. You can report them. I reported it, and that usually nips it in the bud. But feathers. Oh! Okay, I get now feathers because of the owl. Duh. Thank you both. I appreciate that. I never made that connection before just now, so I'm actually really glad I'm spreading these out. Yeah, I'm a huge Henson fan, Trace. Absolutely. I never could get into Dark Crystal. That one was a little weird for me. And I tried it with the reboot, and I got like 4 minutes into it. I'm like, I can't. Okay. All right, anyway. The Fool! I like that that's the Fool card. And like, Fool has a negative connotation here. And thanks, Mel. But like has a negative, the word fool to me has a negative connotation, but it doesn't. It's like in the tarot deck, it's like new beginnings. This person's just starting out in the journey. And I love that it's Sarah in the beginning of the movie specifically because she is kind of naive in the beginning of the movie. So it's perfect. Queen of Junk. Oh my God, Morgan, it's me. My sister keeps, oh, what's the word? Oh God, what's the word? Comparing me to her because like I have stuff all over my office and I keep trying to find stuff. I'm like, where is it? Where is it? She's like, you're like the junk lady from Labyrinth. And I'm like, that's the most amazing compliment she could have given me in a while. So like for this deck, I want this to be my significator. Ugh. Pew, pew, pew. All right. Ace of Junk. Where's Junk? And the Hermit. It's this guy with the bird on his head. Please leave a contribution in a little box. Oh, wow. See, we're getting spammed. That's exciting. Hi, God Squad. Bye. Pots. The illustrations are just really incredible. Really subtle. I like that etched look. I don't know. I can't really place what medium it is. Like it could be pastels or... I mean, I definitely see like colored pencil, like it could be colored pencils. What's the word? Markings, that kind of thing. King of Junk. Oh, jeez. We're getting flooded in the chat with some spam. Please hold. What is this? No, I said hello, but that's close enough. I always wanted to have like a few more scenes with her parents because I didn't really get that that wasn't her mom in the beginning. And I'm guessing that there's some, what's the word? Deleted scenes, but I've never gotten like a Blu-ray version of the movie yet, so I don't know. Okay, this is my favorite in this deck, the Chariot. It's Lancelot and Sir Didymus. How cute was that? It's just, and he doesn't smell anything when they're in the Bog of Eternal Stench, and it's just, the Chariot is like power moving forward. It's great, and it's amazing. That's so sweet. Feather. All right. The Magician. Who else would it be? This is perfect. Perfect. This is one of those major arcanas that I can imagine would have written itself. King of Pots. Poles. Okay. Swords? Air is wands. I think Mel, I think you said maybe wands. I'm famous now. I'm getting spammed. It means I've made it. Aw, thanks, guys. Thanks, Tarot Destroyer. Thanks, God Squad. I love you guys, too. And, like, a card like this, it's the, I think 3 of junk. That's one complaint I have. I can't remember. Okay. Oh, Tarot Destroyer. Hey, Tarot Destroyer, let me know if you want a coupon code. Definitely. I could do that. I can't, like, at first glance, I can't place this as junk, right? Because most of my forks are bent. So, and like those wheels would still make good kindling. So my brain already goes, oh, that's awesome. Thank you, Trace. I'm honored. So this one's hard for me to remember it as junk because it's just the numeral 3. But then I'd be like, there's no feathers, there's no pots. But some of the junk cards I think do have pots on them. The dork is why do you call her? Nice. That's so great. Ace of Poles. What I was trying to say a minute ago was I really do want to rewatch the show and like see where else poles come up. See, Page of Poles. This is a little creeper I was talking about, like the little egg birdie thing. Yeah. Morgan, you're on top of it. Thank you. And I will do my best to like report and boot and whatever. Knight of Junk. I remember this card came up when I was interviewing the deck for the first time to find out, like there's a couple questions, like I think 4 really good questions I've got to interview a deck to find out like what it's going to be best for, how is it best going to help me, how can I be most functional, like how can I be most coherent when I'm using it. This was one of the ones that came up and it gave me that Knight of Junk has to do with Ludo's ability to call the rocks for help. And so that kind of told me that this deck is amazing for when I need some insight for myself, when I need help reaching out to, I'm sorry, I'm so distracted by getting spammed. Like I'm disgusted and thrilled that it's getting that much attention. Like, yay. So I'm going to just cover up. Thanks, Morgan. I really appreciate it. I'm going to cover up the chat for now just so I don't get too distracted. Because it's hard enough for me to remember what I'm saying on a normal day. All right. Knight of Junk. Oh yeah, sorry. So this was one of the cards that came up when I was interviewing the deck. Like what's like the essence of the question was like, what's the essence of the deck, or how can this deck help me, or when's the best time for me to use this deck? And it was about, this card came up and it was like, and the card represents like Ludo calling for help and asking for help. So it's like for me to ask for help about stuff, or insight about something. Like, I need help sanding these chairs. I can ask my husband for that. But like hey, Dak, what's the best way for me to not get flustered by the spammy chat happening? And I can imagine this card coming up and being like, ask your moderators for help, and they're on top of it. So I love you guys. Thank you. Wait, wrong one. That also throws me off. A full picture immediately makes me think Major Arcana in this deck, because you can tell the difference. Like this is a face card though, so that's fine. It still has knights, pages, knights, queens, and kings. So, but like there's just so much for such a small card. It's like a little longer than an index card, and that's one huge A+ for this deck for me. It's perfect in my hand. It might not feel right to everybody. It's a good quality card stock. It's thinner, but it's really good. It feels nice in my hand, and it's a great size in my hand. I gotta put this card down. I really like this card, I guess. Knight of Junk. And now, like, it takes me a minute. Pots, junk. Okay, pots, junk. Poles, feathers. Because owls! How did that not occur to me before this? You know what? Okay, yeah, I'm going to talk about that in a minute. And then there's, like, vegetables and a top and a funnel. Like, but with the funnel makes me want to put it in pots, but I'm guessing that's junk. But beets aren't junk. King of Pots. Queen of Pots, look at her. And what's amazing is these characters, they have names like, and the guidebook says, like, when I'm looking up that card, or so, this might not be the right example, but it's like, oh yeah, Jelizabeth, or whatever her name is. Like, she has a name, but she's anonymous in the movie, and I really like that. I like when creators go deep, and Henson does. Always has, always will. What's this one? Why did I put that in poles? Or pots? That's poles. Junk. Pots? Yes. Almost here, almost here. This little guy, so cute. Pots. Look at our little puppo. There's Toby, the son. Yeah, super cute. And I appreciate that the artist did this. This is his signature card. T Hio. MMXXI 2021. So that was last year. That's cool. And that's funny because that came up in a reading for a client recently, and it wasn't just that, like, oh cool, the artist slipped his thing, and like it had to do with the reading, the fact that the artist let themselves be known, like they were taking credit for their work loud and clear, front and center, and that was relative to the that was related to the message I was going to be that ended up coming out for the querent. It was really interesting. So here's the part that I'm half and half on this deck. This is like where I give it like a solid neutral rating here. The Major Arcana takes my breath away. It's just, the characters are nailed. Like, it's all, even the little people, the little guys, I don't know their names. And Fate is Jareth's disguise. Like, was on his head. Nothing, tra-la-la. That's this card. When he corners Hoggle and Sarah in the, just after the oubliette? Or before the oubliette? I can't remember. Before they meet this guy, actually. Junk Lady, Sarah, this guy. Oh, that guy was scary. Falling in love. The dancers. Hoggle. Ace of Pots snuck in there. Judgment, Moon. This lady. They make her look so mean. She treats me like an evil stepmother no matter what I do. Like, I wanted to know her story. Like, let's give her a prequel. I wonder what she's doing right now, or who it is. The High Priestess. Justice. The Tower. Look at that. That's like the center of the labyrinth with the Goblin Castle. Ludo. Go cute. He's so sweet. He was my absolute favorite. And Toby. Okay. The Major Arcana I'm holding in my hands here. Phenomenal. Right? Like, it makes the deck. Totally worth it. Totally worthwhile. The face cards are okay. The face cards are great. Like, I don't know how to... Yeah, like, these guys are good, but these ones are just... I'll say it, they're boring. Compared, like, relative to the rest of the deck. These are just boring. That one's unique because of this. How did that get in there? Pots. Feathers. Boring. 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 There's still a lot to read from it, but oh. Take my melatonin. Not yet. Okay. I adore... There's the Ace of Feathers. I adore that... Look at this guy, so cute. All right, that makes up for it. Like, I like the background. I like the imagery, but it's so simple. It doesn't hold up with the rest of the effort in the deck because their image is repeated. So it's just like, you know, like this is like literally the exact same thing. So there's not too much more effort. Like, but what this lacks up, what the Minor Arcana lacks up in artistic effort, absolutely makes up twofold in here. So this complaint gets canceled out by how freaking phenomenal the Major Arcana is aesthetically. And also, what also makes up for the dull part of this, because if, like, for real, I'm the Dork Witch. I only use stuff that I love, like decks that are specific to the creatures that I like the unicorns, or, well, I mean, I've got Lord of the Rings, I've got dogs, I have the herb crafters, because I'm starting to really get back into cooking a little bit and like using spices a lot more. So that's interesting, but like, that's really dull. for a Jim Henson product, right? And beggars are being choosers here because my sister paid very good money for this, and I would never give it back. I adore this deck, but it just, like, these are amazing. Like, the face cards, okay, cool. There's 4 suits with 4 face cards, and the ace card is usually pretty good too. But, like, do you see what I mean? I think the other struggle I've got with this for real is that they're too similar to me. So and there's no Roman numerals on it. So, and also, like, I can't tell which way they go because some of my decks have the numbers on the top, some have them on the bottom, and these images are kind of reversible. But, like, I have dyscalculia, so simple counting is tricky for me. It's gonna take me a minute to only count 4 here. Like, not a minute, but like a few seconds extra. So that's a level of embarrassment in a live reading with someone. But they're not. But I'm honest about that. Like, it would be in a previous life, like a level of embarrassment. Honey Badger don't give a shit anymore. Pardon me, but that's it. So, what I'm gonna do now. Ooh, okay. Is I haven't read for myself in a couple of days, so I'm gonna pull a card or 2 for myself to start my day. I usually do it at the beginning of every morning, but it's just been a busy day. And I've got this one out. It feels active. The owl is looking at me like, would you shut up and start reading cards? Like, I could totally hear David Bowie saying that to me right now. Who am I to mess with that guy? I am not going to. All right, I'm going to poke at the chat to see. Awesome. Hi, Bridget! Bridget! Oh, I'm so happy you're here. Thank you. Katie. Oh my gosh. Morgan, that's a really good point. My sister just pointed out that she gets what I'm saying about the minor arcana cards. And I think maybe there's not not enough characters in the movie to make corresponding characters for each minor one. There are probably 400 different puppets in that film. I'm absolutely guessing and exaggerating, so I'm 51% sure I'm correct. The opening, yay, Bridget, thank you. The opening scene alone, when they're clustered in the closet, there's like, oh God, maybe, if memory serves, like 18 different ones of them. And, like, I'm not going to write the Jim Henson Company and tell them they should have made, okay, yeah, like the fairies that bite people. How freaking great was that? But I think, like think about everybody in the battle. Like, they could have done it. But also, I'm also familiar with illustration and art. This has got to be draining, especially when you're doing it for a tarot deck. There's a lot that this artist did not joke around with this. So I am being very entitled critiquing this deck in that way. It's just minor arcana. There's still plenty of meaning to be found in these 4, 8. See, yeah, that just looks like 4 to me. My brain does something different to the card. It just cuts it in half. So cute. Oh, and that's sweet. They're like tied together. So, but also, I have to also give them credit because that also is going to give my brain a break. Like, if I pull 3 major arcana, if I'm doing a 5-card reading for someone and the first 3 are major arcana cards, I'm like, holy crap, those are packed with information. Like, subconsciously, I'm thinking, like, oh, I need a break. I don't need a break. I need to give the querent the message that's intended for them here. And, oh God, once in a while, I'm going to be thanking my lucky goblins that it's just a two feathers. Like, okay, there's not much visually to interpret in here, but here I can find 73 things in this photo. Literally, like, that's how my brain works. So this is just stimulating enough. This movie, Labyrinth, is stimulating. Very, very stimulating. And over-stimulating in some parts. So I'm talking myself out of the complaint, honestly. I just want more of it, you know? Also, I would love a Muppet Show tarot. Yeah, putting that on my mental to-do list, if you will. So that's how a bill becomes a law. I say that now. Why do I keep saying that? Let's clear out a bit. I'm going to use that book. So on a scale of 1 to... What year was this made? Movie come out, what, 85, 86? 86. On a scale of 1 to 86, I give this deck 79. So you guys can do the math, find a percentage of how great I think it is, because it's good. It's not perfect. I wish the cards were a little more uniform on the front and the back. And once you're holding the cards in your hand, you'll know what I'm talking about. And that's not just being neurodivergent, which I am, and not being tactile and weird about it. It does make shuffling tricky, which will get fixed with age, I suppose is the right word. All right, we're going to shuffle. And I'm going to do my daily check-in now. And you guys get to see that live. Actually, let me not light some dust specks. What's it called? I have my stuff here, but it's just so choky. I don't want it. I'm just going to spritz my new... Oh, it smells really good. Kind of. This is a liquid version of smudge stuff. It's called Palo Santo Clearing Spray from Sun's Eye. I got it at a local shop called... Spiritual Uplifts. Not outbursts. Spiritual Outburst! Ooh, the caffeine just kicked in. Which is good, because I'm probably going to bed in half an hour. Alright. While I'm going to be shuffling and kind of tuning out you guys, hit me up if you want... Golden Girls is your Bible and you've heard it twice. 4 girls for the murder. Yeah, exactly, Morgan. And maybe that's what, like, I'm printed on the Golden Girls deck that you got at Barnes & Noble here. So I think that's like, if they can do it there, they can do it here. And, all in for a Muppet Show Tarot. One of your good friends, Chase, died a few days. Oh. Trace, what was that? The Jim Henson studio? Oh, I'm so sorry for your loss. Spiritual Empress, yeah. Trace, I'm really sorry you hear that. Oh. Hey, here's to Chase. And to really good Earl Grey. All right. There we go. It's a good day for morning. It really is. Oh, I got grease all over my cards. That's okay. All right. Yeah, so Morgan, like how they have the four girls, and the Friends Tarot even does that. Like Monica's primarily in the one thing and all that. So, yeah. You guys talk amongst yourselves, and in a minute I'll be reading for anybody who wants a card. Starting with our birthday attendee, Mr. Birthday Boy. Hello. That's what I call a jumper. Double jumper? Yeah, that one, but not the second one. The second one felt like a tag-along. So, here we go. Mel, can you type out the correct version of the coupon code for my store? I think it's, for anybody who wants, I think it's, I don't know if it's 25% or 30% off a reading. It's, I think, capital T-Y dork friend, but the I is an exclamation point, I think. Do not quote me on that. Oh, also, no, wait, dork 30. I know that, all caps, is a one-time code for 30% off any reading in my store, and I recently added, what's the word? The option or a combo of just a PDF write-up that's like a nice keepsake summary of the reading that I do offline, and or a video just like this where it's just a private video I make to you. I record it and then set a private upload link, so you get all this rambling. Oh, thank you. Thanks, Morg. That's my store there. And more decks are going to be added in the next week. I have a bunch sitting in the wings. These ones are not in the store yet, but so I'll give you guys a preview of those before we hang up later tonight. Not going anywhere yet. All right, Erica, focus. Your turn. I want 3 cards for myself. It's been a couple days since I read, so I'm going to ask what message you have for me, because that one jumped out. Deck, how are you doing? And maybe just 2 cards. Okay, I blanked out on the 3rd, so I'm just getting 2 cards. I'm asking, this is the message. This is a message that the deck has for me. And I want to ask the deck, how is it doing? After I just reviewed you in front of everybody. How you doing, deck? It's like a courtesy that I kind of... Yes, Mel, thank you. I think thank you, Dork Friend, is 25%, but Dork 30 is the big one. The 30%. So there's a space for the coupon code. All right. All right, the deck doesn't want... Like, I'm blanking on it. Okay, no, just 1 card. Judgment. I always get this and Justice mixed up. So this pulled a Major Arcana card for me. This is one of the jumpers that came out. The Judgment card. These guys are so crazy. It came out upright. There's lots of little Roman numerals I've never noticed in this before. That's Thomas Hio. That's the artist. And I can't tell what that says, but this is the year here. And something late in. Do this. Something this. I don't know if you guys can see that. If you guys can help me make sense of this, I'll flip it over too. But this looks like Thomas Hijo. Hijo is the artist's last name, and Thomas is his first name. There's the Roman numeral year. 2020. This, I don't know, this looks like it says late in? Fate in? Do this. Or, nah, I can't make sense of it. I feel like, I don't know. Can't make sense of that, but let me go here to the Major Arcana. I want to look for card 20. XX, 10 plus 10 is 20. And the tabs are just, my little annotations are just quick so I can, what do you call it? Find. I'm trying to read the chat too. There were a lot of puppet cards. Yeah. You're awesome. Oh, go for Bridget. Drew this. Morgan, you're right. Oh, that's awesome, Morgan. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, Thomas Hijo drew this late in 2020. Oh, that's so cool. Hidden message. I like this guy. Thomas, if you're watching, well done, well played. In the late year. Yeah, that's amazing. All right, anyway, so this is one. I gotta focus here. So yeah, Trace, I'm gonna get to you next. I just haven't read for myself yet. So, or not yet, but just in a while, a couple days. So what numbers are numbers? I forgot how to do numbers. So this one wants to tell me randomly. Come on. Yeah, here we go. Judgment. The door guards block 2 doors, and Sarah must choose which to go through. Let's see if you guys can see that. They explain that one door leads to the castle, and one leads to certain death. While the predicament you're faced with may not be as dire as Sarah's, judgment presents pivotal decisions that can have major consequences. That's just the introductory flavor text to this card. I already know what it's about to tell me. I'm waiting to hear about something from my literary agent. We're both waiting as fast as we can for an answer from someone above them about a green light on a writing project. And yeah. So this is like, yeah. Upright indicates I'll soon be faced with an important decision and warns against making an impulsive choice. That's valid. Evaluate your options carefully and consider their possible long-term effects. Be sensible, smart, and act in accordance with your conscience. I'm not at liberty to talk about that project until it's announced, if it even gets greenlit and announced. But this is hitting home because earlier today I was wondering, like, when am I going to hear about it? I'll say yes to any changes they want me to make to the idea. And it's like, that's telling me it's okay to push back. It's okay to kind of counter with your other ideas, that sort of thing. So, yeah. Cool. I like that card. Okay. Whew. Thank you. And quick way, I clear it. I give it 3 knocks. I also shuffle again. But Birthday Trace. Birthday Trace's turn. All right. This is intimidating in front of everybody. Just, it's more people to watch me get flustered in general. All right. Here we go. All right, after a couple shuffles, if I don't get any jumpers, like this is just a bad shuffle. This deck is not ready for shuffling yet. Yes, I spread them out and then just get to whatever. Like these cards jump out for me. If you guys don't already know me, if you guys don't already know me, I am an editor and a writer, and I'm very visual. So, when if there are no jumpers, I'll basically just bite the bullet and, what do you call it? Yeah, Andy, that's a good point. If you're talking about the card that I pulled for myself, I have to agree with you. That's a really great interpretation for that. Thank you. And even if it's not, I'll take that meaning for myself if you don't mind. That's wonderful. I really appreciate that. Sorry, Trace. So here's how I do the readings. Basically, like, some of these cards, like, do you remember standing in line or, like, waiting at your desk to be called to go to the lunchroom? Like, did you grow up in a really oppressive elementary school? Because I did. We sure did. And it's like, if you sit still enough, she'll pick me. Like, if I sit nice enough, she'll pick me. No. But that's what these cards are, so I'm, like, returning that favor. Like, so some of these cards are sitting nice. Like, this one keeps looking at me, like... And, yeah, it's sort of, like... It was, like, one of these, like, where it's, like, sticking out further. Let me see if you guys can see. Yeah. Let me scooch up here so you can see this. Okay. Oh, this red flag here just popped out nice and bright for me. We're gonna pull one for each decade, Trace. Oh, that one's there too? No. Okay. Those were sticky. Those are the sticky cards. If we were in person, I don't actually do a lot of in-person readings, but I know a lot of people prefer to pick. So my choice right now, I don't know if it's appropriate practice for everyone, might not be, but I would say, do you want me to pick or do you want to pick? And someone's like, oh, I'll pick. Or no, you go ahead and pick. Like, they don't want to choose the wrong ones or anything. I've gotten both reactions. So it's been working out really well to offer that option when I'm in person. And I just looked down and that one was sticking out at me. And I just got full body chills pulling this card. So if everybody could remind me of that in a minute. And this guy's trying to hide. So I want this one. All right. Now, just to manage everyone's expectations, I don't have energy to pull 4 cards for everybody, but we have a very special, special day today. A birthday. 40! All right. That's not water. That's my pen cup. Hold on. This isn't water either. It's just teabag now. Okay, that's fine. All right. You're welcome, dork. Pick me energy. Haha, it was for you. Very special birthday. All right. Third card. Thanks, Morgan. That's it. Don't worry. If that's the case, the card's gonna remind me anyway. All right. I'm gonna minimize the chat window for myself and close Chrome that was just sitting open for no reason. All right. All right. We have a 4-card reading for Trace. I don't know what these cards are, but all right. My hunch is distant past, recent past, near future, distant future, but just because that's an easy 4-card spread to read. But actually looking at the cards will tell me that. Upright, 10 of Pots. Let's start there. Oh, thanks, Past Erica. Past Erica wrote the things. Junk is pentacles, feathers is swords, pots is cups, poles is wands. Okay. Thanks, Erica. So now I'm going to pots. Cups is like the emotions and love thing. So again, I don't know what spread this is. It'll come to me as we go. You might figure it out too. Someone else might. 10. As cool as Roman numerals are, I wouldn't mind if modern decks just use Arabic numerals. That's the right word for just our numbers, right? I think so. All right, upright, Trace, what do we got? 10 of Pots represents personal satisfaction and fulfillment. You're feeling supported by loved ones and content with life. Nurture your connections with those who are most important to you by letting them know how much you mean to you. Okay, this is where my work as an editor comes into play. When I'm looking at this text, and this is why I love looking at these books. When I'm looking at text, when something doesn't feel like it's for the querent for Trace, I'm like, blah, my mind goes blank. Like it doesn't snag my attention. 75% of this paragraph is pretty dry, and like if it was one of my students, I'd be like, okay, just get to the point. What are you saying? That last line, letting them know how much people mean to you. Trace, the first message here is it's time to just, even if it's hard, and I feel myself like struggling to get this out, which is my kind of ancestors' way of showing me what it's like for you. It's hard to thank people. It's hard to acknowledge when you need help. It's hard to acknowledge when you've gotten help, whether you've asked for it or not. It's actually very annoying to get help when you haven't asked for it, as Morgan and I both know. I think a lot of us, probably all of us know what that's like. So what I'm getting from this card for you is more recent. Birthdays can be great. Birthdays can be rough. So especially on a night like tonight, this is just a reminder. It's okay to acknowledge, even when it's awkward, like something that's been helpful. And I don't know how else to articulate that. Thanking some people, when I'm in a bad mood, thanking someone is really hard for me, but I know I need to do it. So it's like, thank you for loading the dishwasher, husband. But I mean it. I mean it, but I know that I'm in a bad mood. Excuse me, I just burped. And I feel that black and white static going on in my head right now, so that means it's time to flip card number 2. Justice! This is our Justice card. The one that Morgan pointed out is for, like, when they were judging her, like, down, she chose down. I really hope you guys who are watching know the movie, because if not, I just sound like a lunatic. And you know what? I'm okay with that. Honey Badger. The Honey Badger Witch. I want to be the Honey Badger Witch. Okay. That's fine. So if anyone is not familiar with this movie, Trace especially, this card is a moment in the film when she thinks she's going the right way. She's like, see, it's easy. I chose correctly. I'm going to go right to the middle of the labyrinth. She falls down this trap floor immediately after being really cocky and assured of where she's going. But this cylindrical wall, like a tunnel, like a picture of a well, it's surrounded by human hands, and they like animate and talk, and like I just remember the one that looks like a mustache, and I'm like, wow, those are fingers, but it looks like a face, and then like it's really eerie and very Jim Henson. So yeah, and you can see some of that like in here. Oh, it's really disturbing. And a lot of like touching, and that always made me uncomfortable, just like all the physicality of this. So I want to see what this talks about here. And this is 11. Here we go. Justice represents fairness, rewards, consequences. Just as the helping hands give Sarah the choice to go up or down, then take her into the oubliette when she decides to go down. All right, I have an idea about what this could be trying to tell you. Just as Sarah often laments that things aren't fair, this tarot card carries a strong sense of justice and equality. Okay, here's where the editor, Dork Witch, comes out. Justice and equality just got bolded for me. Like, literally, it looks like someone just hit Control B after selecting that text. So that's important for you, so I'm going to circle back to that. Justice serves as a reminder to consider your actions carefully because they can bring both rewards and repercussions. Nope, blanked out on that one. That's good. Take time to think through any decisions to avoid getting yourself and others stuck in unforeseen predicaments. This has been happening lately. The bold effect, it feels like my imagination just like bolding something. What's been happening lately is the strike through, literally like someone drawing a line through it. This is getting a line through it. Take the time to think through any decisions. No. This is, use your gut. Gut. That's, and I'm getting upper body chills right now, and that's my yes from my ancestors. Like, this isn't, you're wasting energy overthinking something. It's time to make that gut decision. The next time that wave of like, oh, what do I do? Bam. That it's not for a huge thing. I don't think this is like something that just is feeling like a big obstacle, and it is an obstacle, but it's blank static TV static, which is my signal for the third card. This was the one that gave me chills. That's my significator card, and that card gave me chills when I touched it. Come on. That's really eerie. I'm grateful that that's eerie for me. And I can't see what's happening in the chat right now, so I don't know if anybody's even there anymore, but I'm going to pretend you guys are there because I don't want to be alone right now. The star is my significator cards, which, so this is still for you, Trace, but when I pulled it, I remember saying like, oh, I just got full body chills pulling it. So there's my buddy. Lancelot. He's so cute. All right, let's go see what this has to do. These two are going to be connected. The phrase I just heard in my head was State of the Union address. Trace, this spread is your State of the Union address for how you are right now. It doesn't, not like the past year, but like just more recently, like in the past, I don't know, maybe 6 weeks-ish, something like that. 4-6 weeks, that's what I keep feeling. 4 cards, 4 weeks, that kind of thing. But these are 2 out of the 4 so far have been major arcana, so that makes me, these are big life cards. These are the major leagues. These are the minor leagues. Well, actually, I'm assuming that's minor arcana just because of the symmetry so far, but who knows? Yeah. What the hell am I doing? Okay, sorry. For those of you who are considering purchasing a video recording, it's a lot like this. It's a little more coherent. I'm jazzed up when it's live and there's like an audience I'm performing to, kind of like that gets me excited. I know my sister and my good friend Mel are here, and now my new friends, Bridget and Trace and everybody and Andy, everybody's here. Like it's just a really nice feeling. So I'm like birthday party jazz right now. And one of my infant nieces is at prom. So I'm trying to avoid that thought right now. She's a baby. She's just a baby. The star represents, hold on. Calm down, Erica. I need my Care Bear night cap thing. What's that? The double eye patch? Sleeping mask. The star represents trust, renewal, and hope. Offers comfort. This is bolded and capitalized for me. The word comfort. Because that's what the bear means for me, too. But, like, yeah, comfort and reassurance. Like Sarah's favorite childhood toy, Lancelot the teddy bear. Upright, the star invites you, Trace, to remember that you have encountered many trials and made it through due to your resilience and faith in yourself and your journey. I don't like it, but that was just crossed out. And it was more of a note for me, but I wanted to bring attention to it. Like, there's somebody on your team, your other side team, who knows that you might not have that faith in yourself right now. And I just saw a push pin, like, but put a pin in it. So that was from someone else. That's not me. This got crossed out and then the pin in it. Like, but put a pin in that that feeling, because that feeling is temporary, and that's chills on my lower back, which is a yes for you. That for me, that like I'm correct that if you're not feeling whatever and you're trusting yourself right now, that's okay. It's temporary, so don't get used to it. Don't get comfortable not being comfortable. Keep reading, Erica. Faith in yourself and your journey. Invites you to reconnect with your sense of purpose. Underlined. And guides you through whatever changes are coming your way. Following your inspiration with unbridled childlike optimism. That made me laugh. I love that journey for you, basically. We'll see you through any adversity. If you haven't been doing fun stuff lately, it's time to start. It's like, if Labyrinth is one of your favorite movies, go watch Labyrinth. Or like, I'm projecting here, but go binge watch The Office or Friends or something. Those are my comfort shows. That's overdue. And the Star's Major Arcana cards, so this is like the reflection of your big life, like struggles about not trusting yourself kind of a thing. It's time to. It's safe to. Your physical space is going to protect you. Like, you're not just safe spiritually anymore. Like, you're safe physically where you're at. And it's okay. It's okay to let your higher self kind of. I call her future Erica. It's okay to let future Trace take care of you. I honestly lately, and it works miracles. I do it when I'm stuck at writing an article for work. I do it when I'm stuck in the book I'm writing. Hey, future Erica, can you handle this for me? And it's like usually a yes, because what am I going to do? Turn myself down? I do that a lot too, but still, it's different. Static. All right, card 4. Oh, I was definitely wrong. Trace. You have Trace Major Arcana cards here. Look at this one. This is like her lipstick marks that the little creeps keep moving. The Wheel of Fortune. Let's go there. 10. Sarah draws arrows on the cobblestones with lipstick as a strategy for keeping track of her path through the labyrinth. However, the brick keepers, I didn't know that's what they were called, secretly twist and turn the bricks. Maybe that was like designed for the deck. I don't know. It's cute though. Confusing her. The Wheel of Fortune represents the twists of fate and the constant nature of change. Excuse me. You're reaching a turning point in your life. Something's about to change in a big way. No matter where this new path takes you, the Wheel of Fortune is a positive sign that luck is on your side. As I'm reading, the card is like, in my mind's eye, it's doing this. Like, it's spinning, and that tells me it's already been happening. Like, it's in motion. This isn't a future thing. This is current and recent past. This is a recent past, recent future spread. Final answer. Maybe. This is kind of confirms the star card here for you. The Wheel of Fortune is a positive sign that luck is on your side. Keep your head up and trust things will ultimately work out just as they're supposed to. This isn't just like, all right, everything's gonna be okay. This is you also, like, we're over here. We're also wanting you to trust yourself. Like, trust future Trace to handle this kind of thing. Happy birthday. Happy birthday to you. Kind of looks like a grumpy Winnie the Pooh. I love it. And Oh, that's super cute. These are star stickers and like one's peeling off. I never noticed that. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And that's 10 plus 5, 15, 16, 17. That's interesting. Cootie catcher. Or no, that's a pinwheel, it looks like. Okay. I'm going to minimize now and see what chaos I've been wielding here. Oh, man. Cool. Trade 2 fun things. Yes, have fun. Reading amazing for you. No joke. 100 chills, goosebumps. Yes! Always good. You're on the beach for your 40th. That's good stuff, man. All right. Okay. I gotta quit that while I'm ahead. Or confused you all. Trace, if you have any questions or want clarifications, you can message me or what's the word? DM. My email is dorkwitchery@gmail. And also on Twitter @dorkwitch, but I'm more active as the Davis girl. Okay, who else wants a card? Andy, are you still there? Bridget, are you there? 22 subscribers? What just happened? I'm so excited. Oh, thank you, Bridget. I just saw your message that you're doing doing so much better than you would live. I appreciate that. Andy, Bridget, Morgan, Mel, and anyone else I missed. Would someone like a card pulled? It's very dark in here. I'm gonna put my keyboard away. Oh, I just saw my puppy sleeping. I'm going to shuffle. Oh, there we go. It got a little more light. Nice. Oh, yeah, that's a lot more light. Very good. Always up for a read, Krause. Let's do it. Oh, here's a jumper. It says you should buy your sister more Tim Hortons coffee. Oh, because she's almost out. I'm just kidding. No, you should do that. All right, Morgan. All right, Labyrinth Tarot. What message do you have for my big sister, Morgan? I just got really happy. Oh, this one. It didn't jump, but it flashed, kind of. Yeah, Andy? Okay, good. Oh, that's hilarious. I love that that's like literal Wheel of Fortune TV show. Oh, that's good. All right, Morgan Krause. Oh, snap. Look at this lady. She is divine. Let's see. I already threw that bag. I'm halfway through the second bag. 3/4 of the way through the second bag. All right, Morgan, we've got the Empress. All right. They make her look really evil in this card. I wish I could help you focus on it. That's good enough. Okay, sorry. Well, here we go. This is where this comes in handy. I'm not doing the big stuff anymore, so I'll zoom in. There we go. Okay. You guys, in the chat, feel free to be really specific with context because it's always like 30 seconds after I have said something and my short-term memory sucks. Which I feel like I've said already tonight a couple of times. All right. What am I doing? Oh, a card. Morgan, this is your card. I'm fine. We've got the Major Arcana card number 3. The Empress. The Empress is a strong maternal figure. Ooh. Like Toby's mother, who is also Sarah's stepmother. That's... okay. While the Empress traditionally represents fertility and nurturing, It's important to recognize that those concepts aren't exclusive to being a mother. Have you been contemplating cultivating a great idea or privately evolving a plan? Check, check. The Empress is a positive sign that it has a lot of potential. Time to bring your vision out into the world. Well, Morgan, how do you feel about that card? Because... Shut up, Morgan. I'm here. I'm fine. Morgan, this card for you. I'm not going to disclose the project that you've been working on, but Trace, thank you. I'm glad. I hope it was helpful. I'm sure it was, and if it wasn't, not my circus, not my monkeys. Just get what you pay for. I don't know. But yeah, please, if you ever do want to think about a read, Dork 30, all caps, will give you 30% off. So, private plan, maybe. Yeah, Morgan, this is a sign like, yeah, I mean, you told me, and without going into detail for everybody else who's on here, my sister Morgan told me that she has this plan, but she's not going to launch it. Yeah, but you said you're not going to launch it for whatever, but then you started launching it a little bit sooner than expected, little bits of it. And I think this is like, she's like, yeah, bitch, do this. Mel, right? Melissa. So, there you go. I'm not going to beat that horse to death. You got to listen to the evil stepmother. She's not even that evil. She's really sweet, and like they have a night out. I want to know what they did when they were gone. And also, I don't think this movie could take place in 2022. Excuse me. Not just because of the pandemic, but, you know, cell phones. Like, she'd spend half the time complaining that she doesn't have cell service, and I would just turn it off because it was really boring. I write all the horror movies. Nice, Morgan. All the horror movies or the horror stories that I write, they're all set in the 90s and 80s because I don't want to deal with technology, modern technology. It's too easy. It's like, ugh, like I don't even like using it much. If you guys call me, you know, or text me, I use my phone as a pager. I don't know where my phone is half the time. My husband found this for me earlier. It's on silent 24/7. Yeah. Missed 5 calls. Oops. Sorry about that, gang. Okay. Who wants the 10 of pots? Because this card is for someone. Trace, I've always liked you. He says Tim Horton. Is there? No, first of all, let me talk about the Tim Horton thing. Tim Horton donuts are amazing. Went on your mission to Toronto. I don't know what that means, but I hope it was a mission for Tim Hortons donuts, so yes. Morgan, was there really a sunflower on it? And hey, lady, if you want to drop your link and let me know, or just go for it. Where is it? Where is it? All right, Morgan. I don't have time for this. I'm trying to read somebody's card. This card jumped out for someone. I don't know who it is. Andy, you said you were next, right? I think, let me scroll up and just see, because I think I am. Andy, you wrote I am. I'm assuming that means that you are up for a reading. Yeah. Okay. I'm going to assume, I'll take your silence and the time delay as a yes. I'm trying to, I can't do this. This is too much. It's too much. All right. 10. First of all, okay. 2 things I already know without going to the guidebook yet. I'm going to, Andy. First things first, Andy, this card jumped out when I wasn't even focusing on who was next yet, but you are verbally next in the chat line. And 10 is the number of completion. Like, it's set. It's either in motion or it's complete. You're done. Let it go. That kind of thing. And pots happens to be the cups suit here, and that's I don't know, like emotions, intuition, kind of relationships, if you ask me. But so there's my, like, the primer, but I want to honor the deck and Minerva, the writer here. 61 days. I love that yes, Andy, yay. Morgan, I love that Trace knows how many days he's worked with you. That's hilarious. Okay, Andy. What am I looking for? Pots. Suit of pots. X of pots. Oh, my dog just farted. Where's X? I'm going crazy. V I X. Here we go. This was upright. And if not, I think it was. So it feels correct to be upright. Yeah. All right. Andy, the Ten of Pots represents personal satisfaction and fulfillment. You're feeling supported by loved ones and content with life. Nurture your connections is underlined and bolded for you here. Nurture your connections with those who are most important to you by letting them know how much they mean to you. Oh, by those who are most important to you. How do I describe this? It's like there's a function in Word where you can, thank you, Morgan. Just do outline letters. So these letters for nurture your connections, the phrase with those who are most important to you by letting them know how much they mean to you is kind of like hollowed out. It's almost like the inverse of that. Basically, Andy, this is kind of telling you, obviously nurture the good stuff, but it's absolutely okay to put up a wall, to ignore, to sever the bad connections, sever the bad people. And full disclosure, I am in the middle of severing with a toxic relative. And it's a process, but it's kind of like, you have Jareth's blessing to start putting up your own boundaries. Not putting them up, being firmer with them. That kind of a thing. And it's like, that's why it's the 10. You've made boundaries. Enforce them. I'm getting that from that one section in here. I don't know why I closed the book. I have to find it again. Good Lord. Pots. 10 of Pots. Meh. There we go. Personal satisfaction, you're feeling supported by loved ones, content with life, nurture your connections. So nurture the connections is important, but the converse of that is very, very true for you. Nurture connections with those who are important, but stop feeding any that aren't serving you. Even if it's blood relatives, even if it's somebody that you're supposed to love. And again, I'm definitely projecting here. That kind of a thing. But I'm projecting because it's easy for me to articulate what's going on with my aunt. And like, I was brought up to love family unconditionally. No, my PTSD counselor is teaching me currently that is toxic positivity. That is bullshit. You don't have to, especially if it's dangerous for you, for someone you love and respect. It's almost like this was reversed. I think that's probably why I hesitated. Like, was this reversed? Like, a part of it feels reversed, and it's that piece of the section. So, oh, bye, Mel. Love you, Mel. Is it really, Andy? I'm glad. Okay, good. And I feel weird going against what it says in here. Like, if this was supposed to be reversed, the card would have been reversed. But I'm getting, oh my God, lower body chills is no from my ancestors. And the front of my legs is a no. And I'm learning that's a personal no to me. It's not a message for you. It's like, no, Erica, you're correct about reading it that way. So, congratulations on the fulfillment, and you have my blessing, you have the Labyrinth Tarot's blessing, and specifically David Bowie's blessing to cut that cord, to, what's the word? I keep going like that, like, it's not a wall, it's a chop, like almost, sever, and I'm getting chills. sever it. Whatever it is. Figuratively, please. Safety first. So, that's that. Synchronicity exists for a reason. That's a really good point. Andy, do we follow each other on Twitter? I just want to make sure I follow you. I know a bunch of Andreas on there, and your name is absolutely familiar, so I just want to make sure. And... okay, cool. Let me know. Sever. Yeah, message me if you have any questions about that. I'll do my best. Let's see. Oh, Mormon Mission. I gotcha. Okay, that's what you're talking about before when you were going to Toronto. Yeah, those donuts are amazing. Mel, I'm sorry I didn't get to read for you. I love you. I'll read for you tomorrow. Most likely. And who else? We have a Bridget. Bridget, are you still here? Would you like a card? And anyone else who's here? There's 6 watching now, technically. I don't know who else anyone is, but I can handle that. Let me see. Actually, one test I haven't done yet. This is... I got yelled at as a kid a lot for a lot of things. Oh, good. I'm glad, Andy. Great. Bending cards, like being a little too forceful with them. So, yeah, like I always pressed too hard with the crayons and the markers in my art class and would get yelled at. So, I have strong hands. Oh, yeah. Okay, great. Yeah, from Pipeline Authors? Okay, awesome. Oh, obviously. That's why it looks familiar. Short-term memory pass. Poor short-term memory pass. So, yeah. Oh, there we go. Crack my back. Looking at, just keeping my eye on the chat to see if our friend Bridget, you said you're still here a few minutes ago. Are you still here? And would you like a... oh, your daughter says you need a card. I respect that from your daughter. Hello to your daughter. Would your daughter like a card? And are you okay? Do I have your permission to get you a card per your daughter's request? I need that before I do. Otherwise, I'm happy to pull a card for your daughter too. Love that sound. And the deck is like tingling. I think I've got a card for both of you here, but just let me know if that's okay. Boop, boop, boop. This feels good. I haven't done any readings or videos in a couple of days, and I had a streak of like 17 consecutive days of videos, so it was a good break, but it feels better to be doing this than not to do it. Spot the card. Chaka-cha. Okay, great. Well, Bridget, let's start with you. One caught my eye, but I think it was the sticky. Yeah, these guys are getting really, or still very, they're not as slippery as the other cards, like physically. Yeah, and if anybody grabs this deck, you'll see what I'm talking about. All right. Bridget, there's 2 for you here. It felt like I heard, it's almost like this card said to me, like, okay, that's 1. There's 2. Not for your daughter. These are both for you. Okay. And then I'll get your daughter in a moment. Not get her, but okay, yeah. You know what I mean. All right. We have Queen of Poles reversed. I'm going to look at these at the same time. And Four of Pots reversed. Interesting. Poles is swords and pots is cups. Okay, let's do that. My husband is gaming online, so if you hear screaming in the background, it's happy screams. Not those happy screams, but like joyful game screams. Queen of Poles. Super open to it just now. Well, I mean, it also happens to be there, but it just flipped right open to it. I like that. All right, reversed. Look at, okay, and let me show you the card. This woman is not joking around. She is a feminine woman. She's a powerful one, and she's not afraid of gutting fish and having little creepy pet birds. She's got a killer outfit on too. That breastplate is amazing, and it's reversed. So there we go. Reversed, the Queen of Poles symbolizes someone who's lost confidence in herself. Insecurity renders her already. That crossed out. It was my brain put it into past tense. Oh, thank you, Trace. I appreciate that. Same to you, buddy. Bridget, sorry. Insecurity rendered you uncomfortable previously in social situations. Pandemic pass, for one thing. So you often tried to fade into the background. That is bold and big for me right now. So that means that's very, very true for you. This card's a call to believe in yourself again. There's a common theme tonight for a lot of us, actually. Trust your gut. Give yourself permission to... that's okay. That's okay. There's a delay in the video anyway. It's not you. It's me and YouTube. So, okay, Aria, great, thank you. It's a beautiful name. I'm gonna cover the chat because I keep getting distracted. That's really fun to watch you guys chatting. There we go. The Queen of Poles symbolizes someone who's lost confidence in herself. Insecurity rendered you uncomfortable. So again, as I was reading it, my brain flipped it to show me rendered past. You previously were uncomfortable in social situations, starting to come out of that now. A lot of us are. Pandemic's winning down. People are building that immunity, that herd mentality. Herd immunity is God help us, like, getting better. So you're often fading into the background. This is a card to believe in yourself again. That's all caps. Your ideas are valuable. I just got a gut punch in my, like, actually my esophagus, like the right in the feelings, all the feelings, I just felt this on your behalf. Your ideas are valuable, and they deserve to be shared with the world. And I'm very in tune with, like, reading for people's careers, so this came to me very, very quickly. It might not be literal, but, like, if you're getting steamrolled in meetings, shut that down. Like, there's a phrase going around, and it's just, I mean, I think it was something to do with Ruth Bader Ginsburg or something. I'm remembering it wrong, but it reminds me of Ruth Bader Ginsburg, just to say, I wasn't finished speaking. It's very simple, and you can say it as nice or as impolite as you want. Female pass, like power, human pass, honestly. And this goes for anybody listening. If you're getting steamrolled in a meeting by anyone, regardless of gender identity or whatever, I wasn't finished. No apology, nothing. I wasn't finished. Tone helps, I'm sure, and you know your context. But you've got the deck's blessing. You've got Jareth the Goblin King's blessing here. He wouldn't let anyone steamroll him. He'd do the teacher stare, like, I'm sorry, am I interrupting you? Like, I can also hear somebody in the chat I may or may not be related to saying that as well. I'm sorry, I'll let you finish talking. Like, we've had these snippy teachers growing up. But yeah, all right. Your ideas are valuable and deserve to be shared. with the world is in parentheses, so this isn't a huge, big life thing. This is one aspect of your life right now that steamrolled is the word. And that's a good word for this deck because of the rocks that come through. But, like, Ludo can call these rocks to his aid. It's your turn to steamroll. That's full body chills for me. It's your turn to steamroll. So reversed, you're at the tail end of not having that confidence in some part of your life. It's not everything, like some piece of it. And I think I keep getting to kind of career stuff, but that definitely could be me projecting. Like, it's okay to speak up. My mom would say, what are they going to do? Take away your birthday? And I know that different, call it companies, would have different policies for, like, insubordination, but nope, it's your turn. That kind of thing. And, yes, so that's Bridget. And there we go. Okay. Those were no, that's only one card. That felt like double. That's amazing. All right, the second card that came with yours was the 9 of Pots. So let's find Pots here. Or junk? Yeah, junk, excuse me, because it's cups. 9 of junk. So to button this was reversed. Let me remember that. Reversed. I might just go over this and, like, write the numbers in. Is this junk? Oh, no, it is Pots. Excuse me. Why don't I have... Did I lose a tab? Major, poles, junk. I did. You hider. I knew it. I thought it was Pots. Is that this card? Yeah. Dyslexia doesn't help. Okay, reversed. Thank you, Morgan. All right. Reverse the 4 of Pots represents withdrawal and isolation. You're struggling with disappointment. Hiding yourself away isn't the answer. Process your feelings, then get back out there. Better times are ahead. This feels, not 9. No, thank you, Morgan. Not that bad, I don't think. Bridget, this feels really connected to this one. This is like the punctuation mark of the face card here for you. Like, seriously, what does it say? The disappointment of a previous, like, attempt at standing your ground is valid, but keep going, keep doing it. Eventually it sticks. And setting the boundary is the only way to set the boundary. And my counselor, my therapist, helped me realize there's a difference between building a wall and putting up caution tape. What's Bridget? Oh, I'm guessing yeah, okay, that's fine. I'll let you guys discuss that. But, so it's like, for me, right now, I just have caution tape up with this toxic relative of mine. They know it's there. I've made it clear, to the best of my ability, that caution tape is up. The second they step over it, the wall is going up. As soon as they test that boundary again, it's done. They have no more chances left for me. They had 40 years worth of chances to not be emotionally abusive to me. And it's like, this is a big example. This is a big life example for me, to help myself articulate to you, especially as it's getting later right now and I'm having the sleepy thoughts. Aria, hey, bear with me. I'm going to get to you too. How do I say this? I've kind of already said it. I know. I'm just fading here. Hiding yourself away isn't the answer. I want to amend that. But it's okay to... That's true. Hiding ourselves isn't the answer. Like, whatever. It's more like, take that step back. Be like, oh, okay, that boundary didn't work. Or I was steamrolled in that meeting yet again. Good. Learning moment. That learning moment could lead to one of several billion things. One could be you setting a boundary. 2, you handing in your 2 weeks notice. like it's just, if enough is enough kind of a thing. And that's okay. You're allowed to withdraw and process what just happened, you know? I'm getting lower leg chills. Oh, this is true for me, and I'm being compelled to tell you it's true. It applies for you too. Their inconvenience is not your problem. That's the phrase that got me through quitting a toxic job. I was terrified to talk to the person I had to report to because he was a perpetuator of the harassment I was facing, but he's the one I had to tell. So I was bursting into tears, and he's like, oh, this must be really difficult for you. I'm like, yeah, I'm just mad. I'm just trying not to punch you in the throat right now. So violence is not the answer, Aria, but sometimes it helps. That's bad. I don't know who Heather is. Let me read Aria's card first, Trace, and then I'll help you phrase that question. That's a great question. But I don't read for someone without their consent. And I don't know if Heather is in the chat. I'm guessing not. But let's circle back to that, because Bridget, I think that's it for you for that one. And I hope that helps. Yeah, I'm getting this. I just want to make sure I didn't cut myself off. I wasn't finished. Everybody say it with me now. I wasn't finished. That's practice for when you're in a meeting getting steamrolled by anyone. Yep, blanking out. Okay. Yeah, Trace, let me get to that question in a second, but I'm glad, Bridget. I hope that was helpful. And Aria, since I have your blessing to read for you, I'm going to shuffle here. The cards are jumpy. There's one, and there's another one coming for you, too. That would be it. Those are jumpers. But I was getting energized, too. I feel a lot of energy around you. Like, I feel good. Oh, Heather, hi! Heather, I'm really happy you're here. I am so sorry to hear that. My sister Morgan's in the chat. We lost our parents to cancer 3 years apart. And Heather, thank you. I'd be happy. I would be honored to read for you. Yep, this is a safe grief space in here. And that grief is a big reason why I'm reading tarot professionally now. It helps me manage the anxiety caused by my grief of losing my parents and uncle, cousins in like a 3-year time span. I'm so sorry about that diagnosis, Heather. Let me read for Aria here, and then we will absolutely read for you. Yeah. Thanks, Trace. Thanks for bringing that question up. I appreciate that. Aria! Let's do this. I need water and a butler. I'm actually going to do myself a service. Make my boundary. Please hold. I'm going to get myself some water. I'm going to bring my old cup in. All right, I remembered to come back. Thank you. Thanks, Bridget. It was poopy. It was very, very rough, especially in the beginning. The first year's bad. Seventh getting stretch. Oh, I do have to take my meds. Thank you, Morgan. Yeah, the first year is bad. The second is also bad. And at the middle of the third year, I'm like, okay, Christmas isn't traumatic anymore. I'm okay. Like, And then there's bouts, and grief has no agenda. Grief is an asshole. Grief is also really wonderful. It's so weird. Safe space. Okay. Aria, your turn. Yeah, F Cancer. Oh, my sister and I have a club that our cousins and us belong to, and all our friends who have lost someone to cancer. Is called the F This S Club, with the full phrasing. But Aria, I don't know if you're like 6 years old or 60, so I'm just going to do the average and call you 12. Okay. But also, speaking of being 12, I have my unicorn mug that my podcast co-host mother sent me when I did a unicorn oracle reading for her. How cute is that? So cute. All right, Aria, what do you got? Ace of Pots? Looks like a carrot stew brewing in there. That looks really... I can smell... Morgan, it's like Mom's tasteless soup. Like a really homey broth. Like... It's just what that reminded me of. Like those onions simmering and all this. Yeah, Heather, we got your back in here. This is a safe F Cancer space in here. Big time. Yep, Morgan's got it. That's it. That's the name of it. All right, Aria. I've got Ace of Pots upright and the 5 of Poles reversed. So, all right, this is, when I get no inkling about what this means, that could be 3 things, right? I'm tired, or I'm getting tired, so I'm getting like less articulate. Or 2, this is going to be, there's not much to interpret because the readings in the provided deck are going to be pretty literal for you. That's what I'm learning recently about myself. And there was a 3rd one, which I have since forgotten. 16. She doesn't mind swears. Okay, cool. I was close with 12. Not really. All right. What the swears, Aria? I'm tired. Ace of Pots. Aria, have you seen Labyrinth? And what do you think about it if you have? Morgan. Fuck this shit club. I don't like swearing. I think my mom hates it, but she's gone, so. All right, Aria, Ace of Pots. Again, when I saw this, I was reminded of like a really good home soup that my mom would always make when we were not feeling well, or just like when we were hungry. It was cold out and we lived in Buffalo, like winter. This would just like stick to your ribs like a clear broth soup, like chicken noodle soup kind of thing. I'm comforted by this card. Ace of Pots. Upright. You're feeling inspired and creative. Your ideas have incredible potential. Incredible just increased to like size 72 font for me. So whatever idea you've got boiling, it's bigger than you think it's going to be. Like it's better than you think it is, kind of a thing. You're onto something amazing. Like that's very true. That's actually what I was about to just say. Like you're onto something amazing. And that's what's written there. Sometimes the Ace of Pots represents an exciting new connection or relationship. I don't know if that's kind of like fading. Like the ink is fading for me here. So it's not really to do with that. It's more about focusing on a literal idea you've got. And blank. Okay, so let's go to the second card. And then I'll regroup and take a look at it. We've got the 5 of Poles reversed. Yeah, and the Ace card is like the first step of something. And it's a minor Arcana card, so it's immediate, it's recent, it's soon. Like, you know, not a big lifelong thing. This is something pretty recent. Like if you have an idea of like starting a club, or if you have an idea of joining something extracurricular, like by extracurricular I mean not school related, and I'm getting full body chills on the upper part of my body, which is a big thumbs up from my ancestors and guides or whatever they are. That's a big yes from the positive forces in this world for you. Do that thing. Do the thing. Do the thing. Start the club. Fundraiser, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just thinking of stuff. What do kids in high school do? It was like 400 years ago for me. I just skipped gym class. Like that's what I did in high school. I tried to. But it was badminton, so that was fun. I want to take a look at this one to get clarification here. 5 of Poles reversed. I want to keep my thumb where the first card is, too. All right, so here's what the card looks like upright. It's like a couple of sticks with some bundles on the end of it, and then a handle's carved out of this one, and a red ribbon nailed into it on that one. But it's reversed. Pardon me, reversed. 5 of Poles reversed. Have you been wrestling with a difficult decision? Are you fighting an internal battle? When reversed, the conflict represented by the 5 of Poles, it's personal. Treating yourself with more compassion will make this whole situation easier. Common thread for tonight for all of us. I love that journey for all of us. Don't be so hard on yourself. You're doing the best you can. Don't be so hard on yourself. Got really loud in my head. Like when I heard myself say it. It could be my ears popping too, but don't be so hard on yourself. Because this is a freaking good idea. Whatever it is. It's I remember when I was in college, my dork friends, they wanted to play Super Mario Smash, but they were all sick of like having to go to someone's house to do it because nobody had a nice big enough place for all like 7 or 8 of them to do it comfortably on a couple of screens at the same time, so no one had to wait turns because these guys were really entitled and whatever. Excuse me. Oh, Trace, that's so cool. Heather, we're a swearing bunch. I love that. You adore the Labyrinth, Aria? That's amazing. Oh, welcome. All right. Anyway, all right, I'm covering up the chat again. You guys are too much fun. This is one of my favorite nights so far. I mean it. Especially people who are friends of friends and my Twitter friends. Andy, if you're still with us, I'm just honored that you're here too. So, Aria, focusing on you. I was talking about my dork friends. What they ended up doing, they just wanted to like see if they could slip it by the student union, the student club committees. It's like student government was in charge of it. So it's all college kids, like 20, 23-year-olds trying to like decide what other 20, 23-year-olds could do with like, are these 8 people? You needed a minimum of 8 people or 12 people to sign up to be a club, to get $400 a year of funding. So they're like, what the heck? I'm sure we could find like 4 more people. And so they did it. So there was like 12 of them on this petition to become an established club at the University of Buffalo. And to play literally Super Mario Smash Brothers. They called it Smash Club. They are now the biggest freaking Super Mario Smash Brothers club in the United States for collegiate America, and they have annual conventions all over the country, and they're the main hosts because it just got so huge. It's like 500 or 600 people strong now, the last I knew, and my idiot friends were the founding members because they were too lazy and cheap to go to anybody's houses and like get an extra TV set up somewhere. Like that's this scenario is for you. Whatever idea you've got percolating, and it may be academic, it might be extracurricular, or just fun, or hobby, or whatever. If you want to do a Twitch stream or something, like with parents' permission and everything, you got to keep it legal, obviously, and safe. You have to keep yourself safe. It's such a good idea, and mom might not even know what it is yet, and that's okay. And that's up to you. That's your call when to tell, unless you need parental guidance and all that. I'm going to shut up about legal stuff now. Do the thing. It's start running the idea by people you trust, if you haven't already. And if you have already, start acting on it. Start finding out how to act on it. If it, let's pretend it is a club of some sort for school. Hey, assistant principal, whatever your face is, I have an idea for this thing. How can I get funding? Phrase it that way. Like, how can I get funding? Not, can I have some funding? Like, ask how. What's the best way for me to get this bankrolled by the school so I don't have to do this out of pocket and other students don't have to do this? I mean, yeah, there's dues and whatever, but I'm getting too far down the weeds with it being a school club, unless that's what it is, in which case I totally meant to do that. So that's that. Smash Club. Those dorks. I should talk. I'm not good at Smash, but I was always good at Super Mario Brothers. What's... I guess it is Smash. Princess Peach. Did I win? That one. So. Macaroni and beef. Oh, if you're hard on yourself, Aria, it's okay. It's awesome. You can be wired that way. That's great. You really don't need to be. It's a waste of energy. I have been that way. I have seen my sisters be that way. Especially our older sister in particular. She's very hard on herself, and it's a waste of energy. And I know that's easier said than done, like to just let that go. But again, I just hear my mom in my head, my late mother. She passed away in 2017. She would say, Aria, what are they going to do? Take away your birthday? You can always ask. Like, you can always trust yourself. And if you're wrong, it just means you're wrong with that particular situation. Like asking someone I babysit for a raise because their kids were little a-holes was not my best idea because it backfired and they never used me again. But I'm not the one who set their microwave on fire. So, okay, maybe they were my responsibility. That's a bad example. Yeah. I'm getting off the rails here. So Heather, I'm here for you, ma'am. And I'm so happy you found your way to the station channel today. Welcome to Dork Witch. I'm the Dork Witch. I'm a Dork Witch. I'm sure there's other ones out there. That's my unicorn mug. And now, so Heather, since you are here and you've given me your permission, we're a sweary bunch. I'm still laughing at that. Forgive me, everybody, but fuck cancer. I'm going to start the reading with that little mantra. It sucks, and I'm getting full body chills, and that's all my ancestors saying, yep, but we're fine now. It's okay. Like, yeah, what are you going to do? And I'm not trying to make light of it, but sometimes you've got to. And, all right. Sorry, best friend ever. All right, just making sure I haven't missed anything. Okay, so, all right, tarot deck. Trace, I really appreciate the question you were asking, like how you guys can help, how you and Bridget can help Heather. Excuse me, but Heather, since you're here, I'm going to sort of reframe that question for Trace, from and for Trace, to say, all right, deck, help me out here. How can Heather help herself get through what does Heather need to get through this? Or how can anyone who wants to help Heather move through this, get through this, manage this? There's 2, and there's more coming. That does not feel like it's over. And my body, I just got chills on my right side, and I've been to some psychics before. Mediumship is not something... Oh, you're very, very welcome, Aria. I hope that was helpful, and good luck with the thing. I can't wait to see you get the award for it, clearly, because, yeah. Sorry, Heather, I just got chill when I was knowing that there's more cards coming for this. And oddly, the more cards there are, the easier the reading is, because it just sort of, it takes longer, but it's things get clarified. But anyway, my right side, it just feels like mom's team, dad's team. So for me, that translates to like my female ancestors or my male ancestors, something like that. It's not always the case, but kind of like that. All right. Ooh, that one popped out to me. We're going to start with 3, just because I don't have tons of room here. All right. So again, first of all, I am so sorry for what you're going through and what you're going to be going through, Heather. It sucks, and it's okay that it sucks. And here's some unsolicited advice. The grief comes beforehand too. Oh, Andy, that's really nice. Thank you. Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, to Heather's father. Yes. Yeah, he just received a diagnosis, a not great one, and those happen. And I remember someone telling my mom and dad, Morgan, correct me if I'm wrong who it was, but like, I think it was my mom's doctor. After my dad had passed and my mom was diagnosed a year or two later, my mom was she's like, okay, how much time do I have? And the doctor just like looked at her and he's like, this is like his version of like setting the boundary. Like, Jerry, people don't have expiration dates. Even with a diagnosis, like you don't have an expiration date. Anything can happen. You can get hit by a bus, like whatever, it's, yeah. So I'm going all in. Here we go. Ooh. All right. Heather, I have full body chills. Feather, Heather, they rhyme. That's nice. I like that for you. But I have full body chills after flipping these for you, which is just, yep. So whatever comes out of this, it's a, all right, yes, this is the start. All right. I just instinctively like moved these up because there could be more coming, more cards coming, most likely, which is probably a big yes that they will be. And Heather, I appreciate you saying that if I have the if I'm not too tired, I'm always tired. Like I love sleep. I love going to bed. It's just, I feel for you guys for having to make sense of my incoherence when it's this late. My husband jokes with me that it's okay. He knows not to talk to me before coffee or after 9 p.m. Not to have a big conversation with me before coffee in the morning or after 9 p.m. at night. So, there's still more. That one. It felt like 5 from the beginning and I was trying to push it away, but there's so many people literally here in this chat who want to help you, and there's those of us who have been through it, and then there's you and the other people like watching. Like, we've got you, and I have full body chills telling you that right now. We could put together an email chain or whatever and just have our grief support group. Like, this is, you're not alone, and it feels like you're alone. Even my sister and I, there were times, Morgan, when like I wasn't telling you what I was feeling, and I'm like, she would never understand, and I'm like, what an asshole I am. How would she not understand? She's going through this with me, and she's the one who's there with my parents. So, yeah. All right. This doesn't feel sad. Because this is like, here's how you get through it. That's a full, Heather loves sleep. Nice choice. We all do. Wait, he does? Does he say that? Heather, tell Dad that I said that my mom's doctor said. No, you don't. Literally, you don't. Morgan, you can attest to this too. I remember Dad saying I remember hearing Dad say to Mom, like, this feels like the beginning of the end. And Mom was like, no, who says? But then when she got her diagnosis after Dad was gone, that's when the doctor was like, Jerry, you don't have an expiration date. Nobody has an expiration date. This could be a week. This could be 17 years. And there's going to be that period of grief. I'm going to shut up about the advice I feel like compelled to give, because that's not what I'm here for. It's going to slip in because that's... Okay, for everybody, disclaimer, I should have done this at the beginning of this type of reading, like a bigger one like this for something that's like concrete. We know what's happening. I absolutely believe that Trace was right to bring this question up. I freely admit, and this is to the cards, this is to myself, this is to my ancestors, this is to my querents, you guys. Wow, Andy, that message gave me full body chills. And that's a big yes from my ancestors, that yes, that's exactly from him. Heather, I have full body chills, upper body chills reading that you're going to pass that message along to him, but you've been not to mourn him before he's gone. Don't worry about spending energy trying to stop feeling like that. That's called anticipatory grief. And whether that thing comes to pass or not isn't the issue. That's the guys, this is such a good chat. I'm like, oh, all right. Anticipatory grief is my MO. It happened with my dad before I knew what to expect. It happened to my mom when I knew what to expect because my dad had passed 2 years earlier. And it happened when we had to put my dog Henry down in December. It was all beforehand. The minute he was gone, I was like, okay, good. When my dad passed, it was relief. It's okay. The tears are done. Everybody else was sad because nobody had those 5 weeks of anticipation, those 5 months of whatever. Like, yeah. I am... Oh, I love you guys. All of you in there. I don't even know half of you. And I think this is just beautiful. Feel the feelings. Yeah, Morgan, you manage the you manage the advice section of the chat. I'm going to cover up the chat. I'm going to put my my screen full screen so I just see myself right now. So I can focus on this for you. Heather. So Heather, on behalf of the family and friends surrounding you who love you, this is what the message is. And this is about you, not your dad. Which is appropriate because, you know, how can you care for others if you can't even care for yourself, kind of a thing. Like, it's not that you aren't caring for yourself, but it's like, okay. And I know there's a beautiful 5-card spread out there somewhere where it's like the problem, the concern, the obstacle, the thing to get over. Like, okay, that's great, but this is a free-for-all, and I'm letting Jareth run this show. So, Erica, here we go. Focus. And basically, as I read the cards, I'm going to know what the spread is, or what each section, what kind of thing is. I'm sorry, what I was saying before was, I freely admit that I have experienced grief, and that in a different situation, this could be really triggering for me. It's not. I would have told everybody if I wasn't ready and willing to read about that right now, or ask about that, or hear about that. I am so ready for this tonight. I don't know what it is, but I'm here for this. And however, I ask for myself that I just sort of put aside my emotions about it and what I know about the people in the chat, and what I feel, actually not what I know, but what I feel about the people in the chat. I want to put my opinions aside and just focus on the facts. And I will take the fact that I know, Heather, I know your situation now, that your dad was just diagnosed. I'm going to use that in the reading. Even if this ends up being about a career change you have coming up or whatever, you know, it's still, I'm not going to pretend I don't know that about you. That's what I'm saying. But I'm working on my boundary of don't keep giving her advice, because that's not what this is. All right. That's what I was trying to say before. ADHD for the win. Anticipatory grief is real. That's the last thing I'll say. And it's okay. It's natural, and yeah. All right. Reversed. Reversed, the Ten of Feathers indicates you're putting off an ending that you know is necessary. You're holding on to something that needs to be let go. Change can feel frightening. But know that by refusing to embrace it, you'll only make the process more difficult and painful. I'm fine. This is... Change can feel frightening. This is so frightening. This is really scary. I know it is. And actually, that's just, that is what I was just telling you. That's what this is for. This is about the anticipatory grief. First and foremost, let's work on Heather. It's by refusing to embrace it, you're making it worse. It is a thing. Anticipatory grief is a thing. Even if your father lives another 400 freaking years, which, okay, 400 years won't happen, but you know what I mean. Even if he gets through that, it's still okay to have this grief ahead of time, because this is still trauma. This is just going through it. it's still trauma and it's valid. A divorce is grief worthy. A job loss is grief worthy. Not getting a job you were hoping for is grief worthy, right? It's not just death or someone dying. You're not doing it wrong. There is no freaking guidebook for grief. If there is, whoever wrote that would be a kabillionaire. Oh, also with grief, you get really comfortable crying in public. Fun fact. All right. This is more like, okay, before we talk, Heather Feather, the anticipatory grief is valid. End sentence. Love that for you, because it's true. I felt like I was doing it wrong when I was like, he's not even gone. I can't even appreciate that he's still here. And then afterwards, after Dad was gone, there were all these resources from hospice. And I'm like, where the fuck was this 6 months ago? Like, but it was all there. I just didn't want to admit that my dad would need hospice soon. So I'm not going to look at this stuff. That's really depressing. No, it was like this no nonsense stuff like anticipatory grief is a legal thing or whatever. It's not illegal. Oh God, I could stab myself with that. All right. Emperor reversed. Trace, to your point, this is how you can help Heather, by reminding her that the anticipatory grief is okay. Okay? And Heather, that's for you too. So it's like, you know the conjugations, like I, you, him, she, they. That's kind of what this might be. You know what I mean? Like, this is the self centered on you. Emperor is major arcana. So major arcana is big life stuff. This could be about your father. This could be something specific to do with him. This could be about a boss. Let's find out. Empress, Emperor. All right, Emperor reversed. It suggests you might be avoiding responsibilities. Are there any obligations? Here's what he looks like. Are there any obligations or duties in your life you've been ignoring? When Sarah's upset about having to babysit her little brother yet again, when Sarah's upset about to babysit her little brother yet again, her father makes only a feeble attempt to comfort her instead of offering genuine guidance and reassurance. If you're in a position of leadership or authority, caretaker here, potential caretaker, right? Or just emotional support for Dad, the Emperor reverse reminds you to take your role seriously. He's gonna need you. Definitely. Emotionally. You heard what he said. He feels like he has the expiration date. You're the parent now. When in those moments. But this is still new for him too. And he's got to have that. He's got to be allowed to grieve as well. And process it. And then something weird did happen after my dad started going through chemo. Or like the radiation treatments. It wasn't as dramatic and sad as all the TV shows made it out to be. It was a normal medical thing. It's like, oh no, this isn't delaying the inevitable. This is helping. It's weird. It's like, there's 1,000 different things you don't know that you don't know yet. And it's terrifying. Feel the feelings, but also even behind the scenes, start arming yourself with resources. Get informed. Don't do Google searches. Trust me on that. But if you can wrangle up a couple of great friends who are medical people, nurses. I had God love my two best friends from South Carolina. I met them right after my dad had passed and shortly before my mom was diagnosed. And they both happened to be, God love them, pediatric hospice nurses. I can't even say it without hurting. Pediatric hospice nurses. And they were my rocks. They cried with me beforehand, after, all of it. Like, and also like told me when to chill out. He's like, that doesn't mean anything. Like, that's just this. It's a reaction to X, Y, and Z. And I definitely know that I overwhelmed my sister and my mom trying to help by solving it for them, but I'm not a doctor, so that wasn't my job. It's a steep learning curve. It's good. It feels weird, but it's going to be okay to step up and kind of be that rock for him. Be like, Okay. And you gotta let him feel that too. I've learned that telling someone they're wrong, no, you shouldn't feel like that. That makes it worse. It's more like, I know it feels that way, but hey, my friend Erica said that her mom's doctor said that nobody has an expiration date. So it's true. I heard it on the internet. That kind of thing. Tower is a big one. Let's see what we got here in this third card. So this is about you. This is about you and your dad. Family. This is kind of like, it keeps getting bigger. Your circle keeps expanding here. Let's see why. Or what is happening. What number are we at? Oh, that's a big one. 10 plus 5 plus 6. 16? Okay. Upright. Though the words catastrophe and destruction often conjure fear, the Tower's message isn't negative. That's a huge yes for me. This is cancer diagnoses are terrifying. They're not always the end of the world. They're not always an expiration date. It doesn't always mean death. It often can. As my mom and dad would say, it happens to the best of us. Whenever another one of our older relatives would die, Dad'd be like, oh, it happens to the best of us. Like, everybody. It's morbid, but that's just how my dad and I cope with stuff, is humor, as you may be able to tell. Destruction can be necessary to clear space for better things. Though goblins take Toby, the adventure Sarah encounters while making her way through the labyrinth to rescue him, I'll tell you why I'm laughing in a second, leads to her growth. Trust that this period of chaos will ultimately bring about greater clarity and insight. The people you're about to connect with, probably some of us in this chat here, that you're about to meet, regardless of the outcome for your father. It's the friendships that you meet through grief, even anticipatory grief. They're powerful. They're connecting. You might not be BFFs for the rest of your life, but like this chat right now is really unique, and it feels really valid and authentic. That's the word. That's what this is telling me, that you're about to go through something, and it's not going to be this standalone thing. It's an authentic life experience, and not the end of the world. Even if it's death, it's not the end of the world. You get through it. There's no choice. The only way out is through. And kind of like what I told Trace earlier, and what I tell a lot of people that I read for when I get this feeling, like, ask future Heather for help. Morgan, do you remember that? I don't know if you're talking about that in the chat or anything right now, but just sitting there in the waiting room at the hospital being like, I just want to be on the other end of it. And I remember thinking, like, okay, future Erica, just reach back and pull me through right now. Like, just come grab me. Ask future Heather to handle this. Like, my therapist has my, like, I call it my worry bucket. It's eternally hovering right here, and I throw stuff in. If I remember to worry about it later, great. If I don't, I don't. It's mostly a bottomless trash can. So, but it's just this metaphorical, like, worry bucket or fuck it bucket, if you will. Let yourself grieve now. You can grieve for the diagnosis. That's valid. It doesn't have to be the worry of him dying. That's always there, right? Let him vent. And forgive me, I've already forgotten. This is the ADHD. I've already forgotten what this sort of stood for. It's not the end of the world, but it's... Let's look at that again. I didn't finish reading it. Trust that this period of chaos will ultimately bring out greater clarity and insight. That's where I am now. How long has it been, Morgan? 7 and 5 years since I lost my parents, who were both too young and ridiculously dorky and amazing and powerful and strong and healthy, you know? And it sucks and you get through it. And then you read tarot cards to get closer to them. And it kind of works. So, I keep forgetting what I've said about this card. I think that's just for you to hear then. I'm not going to dwell on this anymore. Let's scooch these over. The last two here. 3 of Poles reversed. really want breakfast sausage all of a sudden. Three of Poles reversed. Must have like a half-done slingshot over here. Reverse Three of Poles suggests you may be blocking your own success. Don't limit your own potential by selling yourself short. Embrace your aspirations and get others involved to bring them to life. This is still about Dad. This is still about what you're experiencing. Obviously, the deck knows that you're going through this, or so to speak. I know that you're going through this. So this is more about like the aspirations. Replace the word here, aspirations, with anticipatory grief. Embrace it. If you hold it in, you're damaging yourself, right? Get others involved. Come to my random, I'm trying to actually make them more scheduled and predictable, like the times. I like doing it at 9 o'clock on Saturdays. Come, let's have a grief chat. Like, this is great. Find your new community. This is a new group. Grief Buddies, I call them. I have a private Grief Buddies group on Twitter. And it's for people I'm not related to. No offense, Morgan. But it hits different when you can connect with people who have been through it and aren't your blood relatives. It helps. And it also helps to talk to family members, because you'd be surprised who's willing to talk about it but isn't able to talk about it first. That kind of thing. Get others involved. This just corrected itself by saying, let others get involved. I am an editor. That's my day job. So I trust that when the words rearrange themselves. Thank you, dyslexic Erica, too. Let others get involved. You were very kind to have Trace to come here, and Trace, that was amazing of you to bring this up, and Bridget to be here with Heather and everything. Like, let them. That's your built-in support team. You got to find your grief buddies. It's great. We've all been through shit, and misery really does love company. Like, it's uncanny. So misery loves company. Misery loves company. Find it. You're going to be somebody's grief sponsor eventually. Trust me. Yeah. Finally, the VII, 8 of Pots. Oh, Ridley, I know, honey. It's so late. Actually, I don't even know what time it is. I really don't care either. I'm very wide awake right now. Probably the caffeine I had an hour ago. It just hit me. All right. Bring it home for us. 8 of Pots. Upright. I'm reminded of a potluck here. That's very much what it's like when everybody wants to help, kind of a thing. So that's the first feeling you get here. Like, you feel alone now. Yeah, so before I even get to the book, this is what I feel. You feel alone now, but wait till that doorbell keeps ringing and people just keep walking in before anything even happens, like capital H happens. Like, the outpouring of support is weird. People shrink into the shadows too. You end up not hearing from people for a while in grief. Before, during, and after. They don't know how to, some people just aren't comfortable, aren't able to handle it. I was like that when a friend's parent was going downhill. I had to back off. I didn't know how to help, and checking in felt fake, like that kind of a thing. It happens. So, let's see what we got. The 8 of Pots comes forwards when you're feeling unexpectedly unfulfilled. You got what you wanted, and now you find yourself disappointed with the results. That is obvious. You're disappointed with the results. Reflect on your current feelings to discover the root of your discontent. Yeah. It's cheesy, but the best advice that I knew was coming from my counselor was, my grief counselors was, journal. It could be junk journal. Like, not the cute junk journals that are out there, but like, literally just scribble, get it out of your quiet head. Otherwise, it stays in there and just rots. Like, yeah, that's how this becomes manageable in the short term. This is very very short-term stuff, like in the next like month or so. Just like, here's what to do right now. Here's how to manage to stay afloat. Also, aside from tarot, I say buy a new water bottle and fill that bitch up constantly because you're going to need it. And it's also nice to buy a new water bottle because reasons. So, all right, I'm turning out. Cool, I'm going to go look into the chat here. Andy, thank you. Never, Morgan, that is such a good point. It is never too early for counseling, for grief counseling specifically. I didn't know that. I needed it the minute I heard about my dad's diagnosis and the downhill turn it was taking. Well, that was two separate events. The diagnosis was like years earlier, and then the quick downhill stuff. I didn't start grief counseling until 7 months after my dad died. That was 8 months too late. Like, overdue, not late. Overdue. That was 8 months overdue. And I didn't know that. I didn't know that's what I needed. In our family, you didn't talk about mental health. Like, only weak people go get therapy. After that, only human people go get therapy. Jesus. Oh, Heather, I'm glad that gave you chills to... It is never too early for grief counseling. That's like, it's like, well, I'm going to be in a battle soon. I don't want to bother them by getting the weapons yet. Go get your armor. Go get your armor ahead of time. Morgan, I'm so happy you said that. A year after. Yeah. Yeah. Morgan, same. But everything, it's all hindsight. Grief is 100% hindsight. And it's like a wedding. Like, you can only know what it's like to go through planning a wedding once you've done it. It's bullshit and a lot. Oh, Heather, that's so much moving to be closer to your parents. I totally understand. And a new job, obviously, on top of that. And congratulations. I do have a funny anecdote. When I was new to anxiety after my dad started going downhill. It started quickly, and I didn't know it was anxiety. And so I'm like, oh man, I have this nervous energy. I'm going to apply for a full-time job somewhere, because I was only adjuncting as a college writing instructor. And I got this job, and it was out of state, and at a school, a partner school of the one I was adjuncting at in a different state. And my husband and I were up for the move, so we changed from North Carolina to South Carolina, and so we had a move and a job. I'm like, great, stuff to occupy my brain. And after the fact is when my dad had already died, and I found that site for the hospice stuff, and it's like, okay, the first rule of Grief Club is you can talk about Grief Club, but don't make any major life changes while you're going through this. And I'm like, whoops. Yours are a lot more valid than mine. Mine was to avoid the anxious energy I had grieving for my dad and my family, and half my grief was worrying how my nieces were going to do with the loss, like anticipatory grief. It's just turtles all the way down. Like, it keeps going down. Andrea, I just saw your note. Heather, so freaking true. You're really early on the diagnosis. That's also really good. That's really good. It's not a death sentence. It's not an expiration date. And you can tell that cancer takes up a lot of space in your mind. Yep. And I can honestly say, for me, that was because of television and movies. They make it look tragic and sad and death sentence. That's bullshit. It's not. It's really not. 50 years ago, sure. 100 years ago, yes, definitely. And Andy, I just saw your comment that this might have been why you were summoned here, Comfort. I'm so happy that you were. I'm so happy that you came on. And, oh my God. Everything happens for a reason. Morning. Trace, you okay? Bridget, you're funny. I love that. I love that fortune cookie story, Morgan. Joy shared is doubled. Sorrow shared is halved. So fucking true. I'm sorry, but so true. This is even making me feel better that my dad's dead, that my mom's dead, because hey, I get to be the big sister, the grief buddy, and like say, you're gonna be fine, because literally you're going to be fine. It's going to suck. Whether it's terminal or not, it sucks because you don't know what happens, and my crystal ball is broken. That was a funny joke before I started reading tarot, but you get it. Trace, thank you. Yeah, Andy, that's an interesting point about stem cell stuff. I know that that there's a lot I don't know about that, but I can feel the accuracy there. I agree. Heather, you're very welcome. Again, you guys, if you do ever, proudful plug. If you ever do want a deeper reading, a full reading, a private video or PDF write-up, use my 30% off code, DORK30, all caps. My current wait time is less than 1 business day. So, yeah. Thanks, Morgan. Andy, I'm really happy you popped in here. Thank you. Trace, I've heard some freaking amazing things about you. Welcome to the team. And, Bridget, Aria, Heather, this was an absolute honor. I've never had a chat like this. Yeah, Morgan, same. Unreal. Like, I just want to click the switch so I can put it all on Skype or whatever, but Lord, I would be up for 6 hours being excited about that. It's almost tomorrow. It's 2 minutes to tomorrow. What can I show you guys? Oh, that's what I was going to do. Okay, let me put the deck away. Where are the other cards? Oh, here they are. Thank you, deck. Thank you, Labyrinth. Thank you, David Bowie. God rest you. Hey, David Bowie. Watch over all of us and all our relatives and loved ones. And please punch all the bad ones in the throat. Violence is not the answer, Aria. Okay. All right. Labyrinth Tarot is available in the store right now. I have a bunch up as well. What's coming up soon is Wise Dog Tarot. That will be available in my store pretty soon. I bought these two the same day, Herb Crafter's Tarot, so these feel like cousins to me. This is an amazing food-based one. This picture sold me on it. I don't even know. Andy, thank you so much. Bridget, thank you. Aria, thank you for letting me read for you both. All of you. Thank you all for trusting me to read for you live and publicly like this, even in a smaller group. And Morgan, thank you for manhandling the asshats. And this one, I'm really excited. I think I'm going to demo this deck tomorrow. Or do a deck review tomorrow on the Wisdom of Avalon. I'm trash for... that's true, Trace. I'm trash for Arthurian legends, and that's what this is based on, so outstanding. Hey, Trace, happy birthday! I hope you had a tolerable day, and you got to eat some good snacks and stuff. Cake. All right, guys, it's midnight. It's 3 hours late for bedtime for Erica. So I'm going to go watch Friends for 6 hours and fall asleep. My heart is so full. Katie, my niece says we got to go to bed. Sorry, Katie. Yes, ma'am. everyone, my love to all of you. Heather, hit me up anytime. dorkwitchery@gmail. Grief buddy questions, whatever you need. All of you. That's true for everybody. But the Davis Girl on Twitter or Dorkwitch on Twitter. Andy, I'll see you at the script chat. I love you, dorks. For real. I don't know half of you, and I love you guys. Be good. Tell Katie I'm going to bed.